future, the near future and the more distant future. And as time passes, some of the goals I have in the beginning may change, and others may stay constant. What do I want to keep as a continuous goal? What new goal might I want later for the relationship? As I think about the larger, major goals of my life, notice which ones involve other people, and notice that the relationships with these people are an integrated part of the larger goal itself. The goals I have for these relationships can be framed within the larger goals of my life. Goals are important. They let me know where I'm going within a relationship and what the relationship is for. Step 2, rapport. Do I already have rapport with this person? If not, how will I easily build it? How many aspects of this person's verbal and nonverbal behavior can I easily match? What aspect of his or her alignment or rhythm might take a bit more practice to notice and match? If I do have high levels of rapport already, how will I recognize it if I lose rapport, and what choices do I have to regain it? Step 3, positive feelings. What positive feelings do I want to have associated with me by this person? What state of mind do I want to be in so that this person will naturally feel these feelings? What else can I do that is likely to help this person feel good around me? As easy as it may seem, remember to set goals, build and maintain rapport, and connect positive feelings to yourself. With these 3 techniques developing as a part of your natural repertoire, you will have much greater success, achievement, freedom, happiness, and satisfaction in your life. The great persuaders. One myth is that they are smooth talkers. Some are. However, of much more importance, they are great listeners. This is something that high-powered consultants and motivational speakers have noticed. On this tape, I'll teach you how to notice what the best communicators see and hear, the values, criteria, and motivation strategy of others, which can be found in the speech and actions of others, and how to use this information to make your communication more compelling and successful. The second myth of the great persuaders is that they are born that way. Well, think about it truthfully. None of us is born talking, much less persuading someone of anything. It's a set of skills we learn, like all the other things we learn. Some people may have a predisposition to a set of skills, but no one has them all mastered without training. The top communicators that I've met or read about will tell you that they made a commitment to themselves to seek, study, and learn, because they knew that's what it takes to become a master. What does it take to persuade someone? What's the essence of this masterful and important sales, management, and life skill? To gain agreement, commitment, and action from another individual or group. With NLP, we found the answer in this. Persuasion is the ability to offer compelling value to others. I'll repeat that, as it must surely be too simple. Persuasion is the ability to offer compelling value to others. Now the part that's so often missed. The value is not yours. It's theirs. Their values are what they are going to respond to. Persuasive people are those who can see and hear how others express their values, who can ask key questions to elicit values and then include others' values and benefits in their own goals. How do you find out the values of others? People give clues in their dress, their office habits, the way they treat people, and the things they own. Fastidiousness, attention to detail, sloppiness, warm concern for coworkers, needs for privacy. These all express values. It may be natural for you to pick up on these. Sometimes people only think they know what others value, but they're wrong. Have you ever gotten a gift that you didn't value, while the gift giver thought you should? If you are in doubt at all about another's values, ask what is important to them. You may want to discover the values others use to decide purchasing, work quality, management style, personal relationship, or any other significant situation. Finding these values is easy. Simply ask, what's important about a phone system? Or, what do you value in an employee? Or, what does a motivated staff mean for your company? All these questions ask for values, the standards of performance that the person you want to influence is using to make decisions. These are the same questions Charles Faulkner had you ask yourself to find your motivation strategy and get yourself motivated. If you are selling something, and who isn't, this question can be naturally worked into prospect qualifying questions by asking, what do you want in a, and then fill in the blank, or what's important for a to have? Again, remember to fill in the blank. You don't ask, what's a good widget got to have? Because there you'd be telling your prospect what values to have. Good. She may want a great widget, or long-lasting, or maintenance-free. If you said got to have, you may mismatch your customer because she may want options or choices. Avoid being like the gift giver who thinks he or she knows what to give. Let your prospect tell you what she wants to buy. If you have it, she'll buy. So ask what's important about what prospects, customers, coworkers, business partners, and especially family members want from you. This is the gold of persuasion, the value of interpersonal influence. You can satisfy their desires more completely when you know what they want. You'll also begin to discover these desires and values come in several varieties. For your purposes, it's important to distinguish two types. One might best be called material specifications. When you ask what's important in a product or a service, you may get a very specific answer. The answer could be that it has to operate at a specific temperature, have a certain output, be a certain color, and you do want to make a note of these specifications. Now, if the product or service meets or exceeds the material specifications put forth, what will that accomplish? In other words, what's important about doing it just this way? This leads to the second type of values NLP calls criteria. For example, a part might have to be a certain size to meet material specifications. And because of its size, it will last longer. That's a value. Need less repair. That's another value. And reduce inventories. Still another value. All of these values may increase profits, which is a higher level value. This is a variation on the value technique you did in formulating your mission and passion with Kelly Gerling. The higher the value you appeal to, the more all-encompassing it is. If you have the right size widget, that's less important than having widgets that last longer, which is less important than having widgets that increase profits. In their advertising, Michelin Tire Company appeals to a very high value because so much is riding on your tires. The point here is simple and incredibly important. The higher the value you can identify in someone else, the more options you will have to satisfy it. And the more options you have, the more likely you will be able to give value through offering your product or service. Remember, the higher the value you satisfy, the more persuasive you are. There's even more information to be found from exploring how people think about their values. You may remember that you previously found out your own strategy that determines the direction of your motivation. Now we're going to find out what they are for those around you, those you want to influence. When you ask someone, what will getting that do for you, he or she will either answer with more value words or will answer with words that indicate the direction of his or her motivation strategy. For example, many real estate clients might say, what I want in a house